New York, banknotes from your hometown. Did you know the United States used to produce banknotes for specific states all around the United States? That's right, and in this video, we're going over some New York banknotes that sold online for lots and lots of money. So let's hop into it with this first note. It is a 1929 $100 bill. Now, the first thing you're going to notice is the brown seal on the right and the brown serial numbers. This one is from the National Bank of Bayside in New York. This is a charter number 13334. The charter number is essentially a specific number allocated to that specific bank. So pretty much the US would print these banknotes and ship them off to the designated bank, and then the bank would be giving them to customers. So back in the early 1900s, when you went to the bank, you would get a national banknote depending on where you were located. So even though this banknote got created by PMG at a very fine 25, it sold for $2,400. Holy smokes, look at this $20 bill. Very nice condition. So this one PMG graded at a 58. Now, to be very brief and to the point, every single fold on your bill will dramatically decrease the value. 58 means that there's about one fold somewhere on the bill. So whether it's straight down the middle of the banknote or if it barely clips the design on the corner of a banknote, your bill is going to drop from an uncirculated banknote down to a 58 or lower. So this is a $20 bill from the National Bank of Lake. Oh my gosh, I'm going to butcher this name. Lake Ronkonkoma. It's a charter number 13130. And what makes this banknote so rare is that this is actually the first $20 bill this bank ever received. So look at the serial number. Not only is it a serial number 1, but the prefix and the suffix, which is the letter at the start and the end of the serial number, is an A. So A is the first prefix that you'll get when a new run is just starting. So once again, this is without question the first $20 bill this specific bank ever received, which is so cool. That is why it sold for $4,800. Just going up in value here, we have a Cherry Creek National Bank in New York. That is a very cool name there. I do like Cherry Creek. It just sounds like a nice place, but who knows actually. This is a charter number 14078, and as you can see, the condition here is not that nice. PMG graded this one at a very fine 25, and because it seems like it would be a very valuable and rare specific bank, it sold for $5,280. One thing you really need to keep in mind about these banknotes is that if you have very popular destinations, or if there's just a very limited number of these banknotes produced, you're going to have collectors drooling to get their hands on a banknote like this. That could be a very valid reason why this one sold for $5,280. This is just wild to me. So this is the Florida National Bank of New York. Pretty interesting name. I actually had forgotten that there is a city called Florida in New York. Quite interesting indeed. Let me know down in the comment section below if you are from New York or you enjoy New York, and that's why you're watching this video. But this is a $20 bill that has a charter number 9956. PMG graded this one at a very fine 30, and it sold for $5,400. All right, here's another $100 bill. This one is from the Suffern National Bank and Trust Company in New York. This one has a charter number 5846, and it sold for $6,600. All right, this looks a bit different, doesn't it? Well, this is a genuine $5 bill from the original series. So pretty much this is from the late 1800s. So before small size paper money, which is what we're used to seeing in our wallets and in our purses, they made large size bills. What's so incredible about this $5 bill is that it's in such pristine condition considering how old it is. It got graded by PMG at a 65 EPQ. That means there's not a single fold on this bill. One thing you'll also notice is the margins on the bill. They look pretty raggedy in terms of the margins are not straight. Why is that? Well, because these banknotes are actually all hand cut. So back in the day, they didn't have any machinery to cut these bills. They had to be done by hand. Another thing you're going to notice is the beautiful designs on both the front and the back of this bill. Old large size paper money is just beautiful beautiful in its design. They're so fascinating, and that's why something like this is going to fetch a hefty premium. So this is a charter number 905 from New York. It's the Tradesman National Bank of the City of New York, and it sold for $14,400. Jumping back to small size, except this $20 bill sold for $19,200. PMG graded it at a very fine 30. This is the Hewlett Woodmer National Bank of Woodmer, New York. I could be butchering that name. I apologize if I am. Woodmeyer, not quite sure. But this is a charter number 12294, and there's a high probability that there are not many of these banknotes out there from Woodmer. Either that, or there were a few collectors that really wanted to get their hands on this bill, and that is why it sold for $19,200. All right, so here's another large size bill. This one is from the National Bank of Rhinebeck, charter number 1157. But what makes this one really rare is the fact that it's a $50 bill. So the higher the denomination is, typically, the more money these bad boys are going to bring. It's not too often that you see these higher denomination bills in the large size designation. You can also see on the back that says repaired and piece added. So someone did repair the bill to make it look better. However, something like that could negatively impact the value of the bill. This banknote, even though it graded at a fine 15, sold for $22,800. That is an incredible amount of money for this bill. Whew, man. Here we have the First National Bank of Port Jervis. Once again, sorry if I'm butchering that name. New York. This is charter number 94. So a lower charter number. But what makes this one cool is if you look in the bottom left-hand side, this is a serial number 1. Very rare banknote. Once again, a very high grade for this bill at a 65. It sold for $31,200. $66,000 for this one. This is what we call a red seal national banknote. It's a large size $50 bill. You can see the red seal on the right and the red charter numbers. This is the National Bank of Rochester, New York, with charter number 8026. This $50 bill got graded by PMG at an extremely fine 40. So there are about 4 or 5 folds on this banknote. Even though the condition looks very nice, this is an exceptional $50 bill from Rochester with a serial number 1 at the bottom left-hand side of that bill. That is why this magnificent $50 bill sold for $66,000. Now listen, if you want to learn more about coins and paper money, we have a free coin and currency ebook down below that goes over handling, grading, and values of your coins and paper money. Make sure you pick up that free coin ebook, and we will see you guys in the next video.